This is the People's Station, KZFM Manila.
Hello and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We greet you today from the Malacanang Palace grounds, where ceremonies are being held to proclaim the independence of the Philippine National Red Cross, ceremonies of unprecedented significance and importance to the nation. A ceremonial platform, rectangular in shape, has been constructed in the vast expanse of green between the administrative offices and the one-set hut that belongs to the National Department, rather the Foreign Affairs Department of the local government. This temporary platform is bordered on two sides and at the rear by flag holders. And these flag holders carry the flags of the different nations that comprise the international organization of the Red Cross. The audience is to the opposite side. There are members of the diplomatic corps in the Philippines. There are also members of the Supreme Court of the Philippines present, members of the cabinet, representatives of the American Red Cross, and also representatives of our own Philippine National Red Cross. The members of the Red Cross societies, the women folk, are dressed in the ash gray uniform that's so popular now. We see it every time. And the various delegates of the chapter members of the Philippine National Red Cross who have come to Manila for the three-day convention that will follow these ceremonies this afternoon, in fact will start tomorrow at the San Beda Auditorium, are also present here. It is really an important occasion, this upon the proclamation of the independence of the Philippine National Red Cross. Let's take a quick look at the official program that was handed to me just a while ago by Administrative Assistant to the Public Relations Office, Philippine National Red Cross, Miss Valentin, and I find that the opening number will be an overture by the Philippine Army Band under the direction of Captain Antonino Buenaventura. And then will come the invocation by the Most Reverend Mariano Madriaga, Bishop of Lingayen, after which a few remarks will be delivered by the Honorable Manuel Lim, Chairman of the Committee on the Philippine National Red Cross Independence Ceremonies, or these ceremonies, and First National Convention, which starts tomorrow. He is also member of the Central Executive Committee of the Philippine National Red Cross. And then more remarks as the fourth number on today's program by Commissioner Robert C. Lewis of the American Red Cross, assigned to the Far Eastern Theater of Operation. He represents Mr. Basil O'Connor, who is the chairman of the Board of Governors, League of Red Cross Societies, and chairman of the American Red Cross. The fifth number on today's program will be the proclamation of the independence of the Philippine National Red Cross. And this will be read by the Honorable Emilio Abello, Chief of the Executive Office, also the Presidential Secretary. And then will come the perhaps the most impressive part of the ceremonies here today, the flag ceremony. The flag ceremony will symbolize the admittance into the international organization as a member of the Philippine Red Cross. And during this part of the ceremony, Doña Aurora A. Quezon, Chairman of the Central Executive Committee, will receive from Ms. Vicky Quirino, the daughter of the Vice President, concurrently Secretary of Foreign Affairs, the Philippine flag, which will be placed among the other flags of the other nations, members of the International Organization of the Red Cross, as they fly aloft here on the grandstand. But more of that ceremony as we view it later, after the ceremonies have started here. Last February the 14th marked the first step towards the stride for independence of the Philippine National Red Cross. You'll all remember that KZFM, the People's Station, was present here then during the signing of the documents of accession to the Geneva Convention and the War Prisoners Convention of the Philippines. In the name of the Philippine Republic, President Manuel A. Roxas signed these documents last February the 14th. and then it was sent to the Senate for ratification. 4 days later, that is February the 18th, it was ratified by the Senate. And today's ceremonies here will mark the culmination of that long dream to become an independent Philippine National Red Cross. Back to the program, we told you about the sixth portion of the program, the flag ceremony. The seventh part would be a few remarks by Mr. Joseph O. Besmer, official representative in the Philippines of the International Red Cross. After which will come the highlight of the program, and that is the address of His Excellency, the President of the Philippine Republic, Manuel A. Roxas. Right after the address by His Excellency President Manuel A. Roxas, the Philippine Army Band will play the Philippine National Anthem. Throughout the entire ceremony, the Master of Ceremonies will be Minister Counselor on Political Affairs of the Department of Foreign Affairs of the Philippines, the Honorable Teodoro Evangelista. Right now, the guests have started to come in. As I was saying, the flags of the different members of the International Red Cross are flying in the breeze as they stand all around the two sides and the rear of the ceremonial platform. One holder is empty, and that holder later, after the flag ceremony, will carry the Philippine flag. A local movie company is also present to take moving pictures of this occasion for posterity. And on the platform, I took a glance at the place markers a while back. It's the distinguished guests who are honored to be present on the stage, ceremonial stage, are the Father Evangelista of the Foreign Affairs Department, who will act as Master of Ceremonies, Dr. Horacio Jansson, who is the manager of the Philippine National Red Cross, Mr. Besner, the Chief of the Presidential Offices and Presidential Secretary, the Honorable Emilio Abello. Right next to him, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Eugenio Perez, and then Mrs. Avellino, wife of and the Vice President of the Republic of the Philippines, Elpidio Quirino, Mrs. Aurora Aragon Viuda de Quezon, Chairman of the Central Executive Committee, Philippine National Red Cross, and then the President of the Republic, and then Mrs. Roxas, the First Lady of the land, Senate President Avellino, the wife of the Speaker of the House, Mrs. Perez, Bishop Madriaga of Lingayen, who later will deliver the invocation, Commissioner Lewis, Justice Lim, and Mr. Whistler. Mr. Whistler, you'll remember, was for some time the manager of the Philippine Red Cross, but it was still a chapter of the American Red Cross. And now he to the Philippine Red Cross, and he belongs to the American Red Cross. This occasion, as I suppose many representatives of the press are present, and I know for a fact it's getting wide coverage from the radio stations in the Philippines. All four radios are here to cover the event. The Philippine National Red, the first day as an independent, received congratulatory messages from abroad, from the other member nations of the international organization, from the Yugoslav Red Cross Society. The message on account of the Philippines accept hearty greetings from your society, and signed Yugoslav Red Cross, Belgrade. At the present time, I sit at the presidential platform. Haven't arrived yet, although the audience is complete. They're all seated now. Radio people in readiness. Moving picture cameras all set. Spotlights properly placed for proper lighting. Something seems to be holding up the ceremony slated for 4 o'clock. In which case, we think it's better to turn you over to Russian music. We took the opportunity to describe the setting for you so that when the ceremonies start, you could have a better picture of what is going on here at the Malacanang Palace with the ceremonies of the proclamation of the independence of the Philippine National Red Cross. Now, for a few minutes, back to our studios.
My friends, this historic and glorious day sees the beautiful consummation of a long cherished dream. At long last, the Philippine Red Cross is on its own. It has attained its independence from the American Red Cross. It will now chart its own course for the attainment of its great humanitarian aim. As I congratulate the Philippine Red Cross, I wish to express my own personal gratitude and the gratitude of all the Filipino people to the American Red Cross that was instrumental in bringing about this great development. The activities of the Red Cross in the Philippines heretofore had been conducted through the Philippine chapter of the American Red Cross. This local chapter rendered invaluable service to our people both in times of war and peace. The calamities to which the Philippines has been often subjected, such as floods, fire, storms, and epidemics, found the Red Cross ever ready to provide assistance to sufferers. It is of record that the answer to the call for mercy and help was always immediate, efficient, and adequate. To the lasting honor of this great organization, the world can bear witness that it has never been remiss in its humanitarian mission in this country. This work has been carried out in a spirit of self-sacrifice and true heroism. Red Cross workers have been known to brave the winds of a storm, to breast the waves of a surging sea, to meet the terrors of conflagration, to dare the deadly menace of infection in order to be able to bring relief to the injured and to the sick. In this manner, suffering has been minimized, comfort has been spread, and the growth of disease has been arrested. This humanitarian program, which is only a continuation of the labor of love so beautifully and self-effacingly exemplified by Florence Nightingale and given organized initiation by J. Henry Dunant, should now be carried on here with even greater enterprise and broader popular support by the Philippine Red Cross. Its cooperation can be counted upon to stamp out disease, to raise the standard of public sanitation, to educate the masses in the ways of healthful and useful living, and to contribute in making our country a land of happy people. I trust that it will continue to fulfill its noble program of humanitarian aid in the form of home service, to assist veterans, war widows and orphans, and all those in distress. Safety service, to assist the people in training on first aid, life-saving and accident prevention. Nursing service, to instruct the citizenry in the care of the sick members of the family. The Junior Red Cross, to carry on a youth program supplementing the Philippine educational system. And military welfare service to assist Filipino soldiers in camp and hospital. The government has always supported the worthy cause of the Red Cross. We have given all the aid possible to this organization whenever and wherever such aid was requested. The annual campaign for funds has met with the people's approval. They have always contributed generously to the Red Cross. The Philippine Red Cross is an entity to which the government and private citizens have never shown indifference, and they never will. This organization may continue to rely upon the unstinted support of the government and the people of this republic. The independence of the Philippine Red Cross does not in any way mean that it shall be divested of international responsibilities and prerogatives. We are a signatory to the Geneva International Red Cross Convention, and as such, we owe certain international obligations. For this reason, while taking justifiable pride in being able to serve the greatest interests of our people in a completely independent status, we should never be oblivious of the fact that we have international commitments to be observed and adhered to. Knowledge of these international obligations, together with our own natural impulses, give us the necessary urge to participate actively in all activities looking to relieve suffering everywhere. Mercy, like charity, should begin at home, but it must spread its blessings whenever possible without regard to national borders. I cannot stress too strongly the mission and functions of the Philippine National Red Cross in our daily lives. I trust that it shall gather strength and inspiration from the ideals of helpfulness and charity established by the pioneers of the Red Cross movement. The men and women, therefore, who work for the Red Cross, volunteer workers and regular personnel alike, should be imbued, as I know they are, with the spirit of self-abnegation. They must discharge their tasks not for personal and material advantage, but for the highly commendable and spiritually enriching motive, service. Their calling is a sublime apostleship which demands unremitting perseverance, heroic patience, and questioning selflessness. The government of the Philippines will continue to rely upon the abiding humanity and fearless service of the Red Cross. I trust that the Philippine Red Cross will, on this date of its independence, resolve to keep this lofty tradition pure and blemished, and that it will merit, as in the past, the gratitude and blessings of the Filipino people. I have no doubt that under the inspired and heroic leadership of its present chairman, Mrs. Manuel Roxas, it will render even greater service to the people of this war-devastated land. Mother of Mercy, Godspeed.
Ladies and gentlemen.